Good afternoon. We're going to start our meeting today for the Roselle Zoning Board of Appeals. Can we call the order? Roll call.
Todd Eichholz.
Here.
Lydia Galante.
Here.
Monica Nasiatica.
Here.
Did I do the last name right?
Nashadka.
Nashadka.
You're
Gotcha. I can do it. Chairman Paulsany.
Here. Can I have approval of the agenda? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Voice vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I'd like to move on to approval of the minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Can I ask for a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Voice vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to ZBA 21-469, which is Mr. Kashif and Christina Bathi. Is that correct? It's for a variance for the permit on a 4-foot fence picket, 50% open in front of the yard in lieu of the 3-foot 70% open, and the property is located at 142 Linden Avenue in Medina. I have a motion to request opening the hearing.
Motion to open the hearing.
Second.
Second, voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I want to also bring to the notice has been stated that the proper notice has been provided and has been served. So can we move on to staff presentation, please?
Yep. So the first case before you tonight is ZBA 21-469 for 142 Linden Avenue. This property was annexed into the village in 2020, but it keeps its Medina mailing address due to post office concerns. For clarification for everyone, the owners who are here tonight purchased the home in the fall of 2021. And they applied for a permit in October to replace the fence on the property. So in the packet, there's an image from Google Street View kind of showing what the fence looked like previously. And then what was proposed and then installed. Upon receiving the permit application, the contract submitted by the homeowner showed the fence going into the front yard. The plat of survey that I reviewed was highlighted the same, but there was a squiggly kind of where I thought the fence was. So I approved it with the condition that the fence not be installed in front of the house. The inspector, the permit was issued. Typically, the memos are included with the issuance of the permit. The fence permit was issued. Homeowner called for an inspection. The inspector went out, saw it was in front of the house and failed. I spoke with the homeowners and there was a miscommunication. Either my memo didn't get included or something happened. And so the fence was installed in front of the house, which is not permitted. It's 3 feet. is the maximum height. So in lieu of removing the fence, they've requested this variance in order to allow the fence to remain in place. It's 4 feet tall, which is 1 foot taller than what we allow in the front. And it's basically in the exact same location of where the previous fence was. But that fence would have been permitted through DuPage County, not the village. So.
Any questions for staff before we move on? No? Okay. Petitioners, would you care to say anything? Would you step up? I have to swear you in. Yeah, to the. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just did want to add, so when my husband took the survey, this is our first time we ever asked for a, for a permit to do some type of, so we weren't familiar with the process. So when he filled out this plan of survey, the lady at the village had told him that the reason there was that squiggly line that you see there is because it was the opposite side where the fence previously was. So the fence was on this side, not this side. And that's why she squiggled it and she said, no, it's on this side. Because he kind of explained to her what he wanted done exactly the same, the way the fence was. The only difference was, and it was Peerless, I believe it's, yeah, Peerless Fence. They said they are registered with the Village of Roselle. They have done plenty of fences for, the Village of Roselle. So they didn't even mention to us that there was, 4 feet was not permitted. And when we received the approval of the permit, like she said, we didn't receive any memo saying that it was a conditional permit. Otherwise, we would have never put the, we would have never went ahead and put the fence there knowing that, we were violating that. And it was not approved because obviously we paid extra money to put it up. I mean, we paid a lot of money for this fence. And now they're saying that that they want us to remove it, but it's really a hardship on us because Peerless Fence said we would have to pay to remove the fence. So I would just like to add that.
Any questions by staff at all? Okay. And we'll go on to anybody from the audience participation. Any questions? Yes. You have to swear in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Name and address.
Ray Kubalewski, 7N444 Linden Avenue. I'm the property to the south of theirs, the only property affected by this fence. And I love this fence. It's drastically improved the look of the neighborhood. They took down an eyesore of a fence that was all the way around the house. Put this fence up, it looks nice. I mean, and there's no question about stability of this fence, and it would be very, very costly to have them remove it. And plus, we have dogs. We have a dog, and they have a young child. They're afraid. They're not. My dog is friendly, but I have a 6-foot fence, privacy fence around my house. Their fence is just cosmetic, and it really helps our value. It helps everybody's value in the area, and nobody else is affected by it. It does not impede our view of coming in and out of our driveway, and it's in the exact same spot as the old fence was. So the old fence was a 36-inch ranch style fence, as you can see. It was falling down. It was boarded up, staked, just barely standing tall. And then there was a 6-foot wooden privacy fence screwed to that, and the back being held up by 2x4s. So when they did this improvement, it was gladly welcomed by the neighbors, and especially myself and my wife, who's sitting here too. So hopefully you guys rule in their favor and they can leave it up.
Thank you. Anyone else? I want to cut you off. Anyone else? Okay. Any discussion?
No, I think the ball was dropped on the village's end. Yeah, I don't think they did anything with a malicious intent to try and skirt the rules or change what was given to them. They followed course. I think I have seen peerless fences, numerous of them in town. I don't think they are the type of contractor that would try and skirt the system. I think it's just a mistake that we made on the village end, and they shouldn't be penalized for that.
Okay, any other comments, questions? All right. At this point, I'd like to close the public hearing. Can I ask for a motion? Oh, I'm sorry, before I do that, was there any,
No, this is for the next one.
okay, great, okay. Can I ask for a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Yeah.
First, second,
I'll second.
third?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, can I have a motion of the finding of facts? We vote in a positive for the finding of facts, so. Do you understand how we vote for that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So you would say. Wait, split up. No. So you would make a motion to approve the findings of fact for ZBA 21-469.
So, motion for approval of ZBA 21-469.
Yep, for the findings of
Findings.
fact.
Findings of fact.
Great. Second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. Can I have a voice vote?
Roll call.
I'm sorry, roll call.
Yep.
Yep.
Monica
Nashadka.
Nashadka. There we go.
Aye.
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 Chairman Zinni.
Aye. Aye. They want to get going, huh? Missed the storm.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve the variance?
I'll move
Fence?
to approve the variance ZBA 469 or 21-469.
Monica.
Roll
will
call?
second. Is that what happened?
I'm sorry?
Monica will second.
Yes.
Okay.
Roll call?
Nice job. Lydia Galante,
Aye.
Monica Nashadka,
Aye.
Todd Eichels,
Aye.
Chairman Zinni.
Aye, yes. Okay. The motion's been approved, so you don't have to tear down the fence. Thank you. We're gonna,
You're also free to leave if you don't want to
Yeah,
stay.
you don't have to stay.
I would say it's a great show. I mean, what
know.
else? It's free, right?
Clearly know what we're doing.
Okay. So we're gonna move on to ZBA 22-470 with Damian Babish, is that correct? Correct, thank you. 616 White Oak Drive. It's a variance to permit a driveway setback of 0 feet in lieu of a 2-foot. Follow my cheat sheet here. Can we state the petitioner is present, and I'd like to open the public hearing and ask for a motion. Open the public hearing.
I'll move to open the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
Second? Thank
All in
you.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the public notice has been properly served, and I want to move for staff presentation. Thank you.
So the second case tonight is ZBA 22-470 for 616 White Oak. The request is to construct a driveway with a setback of 0 feet in lieu of the 2 feet that's required in the zoning ordinance. The property owner has requested this variance in order to sort of widen his driveway. If you take a look at the plat of survey and the plans that he submitted, the southern property line is sort of at an angle, and the lot narrows as you go to the rear of the property. And that also happens to be kind of in the location where the corner of the house sticks out. So he's requesting the additional about 2 feet to go onto the property line with the driveway in order for his vehicle to move around the corner of the house. And then that setback or lack of a setback would be maintained for the rest of the driveway going back to the garage. He submitted some pictures, including images of the truck, his personal vehicle parked on the driveway, and the issue that they have. And then a neighbor submitted comment over the weekend. And I'll read the message into the record and include some photographs of the driveway and their garage. They're located at 620 White Oak. Our concerns are as follows. One, drainage on the northeast side of the garage. We have spent thousands on drainage remediation, such as French drains around the perimeter of our garage, and at times of extreme to heavy rain and snow melting, we still experience water seeping into our garage. Our property is slightly lower than 616's garage. We are concerned that this will become even more problematic with the removal of grass being replaced by concrete as excess water would have nowhere to go. 2, snow removal. We remove all of our driveway snow on the northeast side of our property. With reduction of grass, where will the snow go? We also do not want neighbors' snow removal to go against the northeast side of our garage. Overall safety concerns. James and Susan Berry. I believe that concludes my report, unless there are any questions.
Any questions?
I think so. Don't know if this should be directed at you here. So I sort of have a similar thing at my house. The people before me widened the driveway without a permit, blah, 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 but they did put in a retaining wall, which, so my neighbor said he would write a thing saying it stopped the water coming in. So I think part of these neighbors getting this is, I would approve it if they put in like a retaining wall. Is that something I can say or like
Mhm.
vote on,
Yeah,
oh,
when we get
like
there.
conditionally?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Any other questions from staff before petitioner? Okay, can the petitioner, would you mind to step forward if you have anything you want to say? Well, you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
To
Name and, just, you need name and address, or you met them already?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So in regards to the neighbors' comments, I spoke with them before the weekend. And yes, I know about that issue that they have with the drive, because my driveway currently is sloping towards the neighbor. In my exhibit D, there is about a foot drop on the grass too. So naturally, all the water is going down. And what I was proposing on the sheet A105 with the proposed plans was what you mentioned with the little retaining wall with the curb to then redirect the water towards the front.
Okay.
You know.
I do see that on here. I apologize.
And then also right now, if you look at some of the pictures, the driveway is right against the brick of the house. So my plan is to lower the driveway about 4 inches from the brick, not to get seepage in my house, which then would actually create a difference between mine and the neighbor's door. As I wrote in my hardship, it is a very narrow driveway, and with at the back corner of the building, the 10.92 feet distance. If I tried to do a new garage with the current zoning, the garage would have to be not even 9 feet wide. It's just not wide enough for turn. The analysis from engineering software for a sedan. I drive a pickup truck. My wife has a minivan, and she already she slipped, stepping out of the car because that driveway is just too narrow for her along the side of the house. She also asked me for help to back out the car from the driveway because she's just afraid she's going to hit the car. Some of the pictures I provided, especially with the snow now, you can see the tracks of what does it take for a car to make those turns.
Thank you. Any,
I do have a question for you. So I'm looking at this proposed, plan that you have here. So it's pointing to the curb on the side, kind of what I was talking about with the retaining wall, and it says see details. So where, sorry, could you just point to the details where the,
That was kind of what my plan was, but this driveway.
Okay.
Just didn't.
oh yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm actually an architect, we do it a lot of times in the village, but, just, I assure the neighbor, the curb.
How would you? You gotta go back there. Sorry, yeah,
oh, thanks.
that's the rules.
What?
How would you
Oh.
direct snow then? Where would you put snow? Because one concern was snow removal being pushed up against the neighbor's garage.
I was either pushing it forward towards the front and to the left of my, to the north side, or to the back side of the driveway. My backyard.
I see the curb and the design you have. Was there an actual site plan done for contours on that for slopage?
I started on it, it was not submitted for the zoning approval. I can have it. The difference, I mean, I took the heights, the difference between the current driveway and the neighbor's lot line is about a foot difference,
About a foot difference?
1 foot difference, 12 inches.
Yeah.
So my assumption is if I lower my driveway 3 to 4 inches at my building line and provide the slope towards the curb, the difference might be about 4 inches. Could be fixed with that retaining wall.
Okay. Other questions at all? No? No? Okay. No other questions from us at all. We do have Margaret Taylor. Yep. I'm gonna comments from the audience, and Margaret, you're first on the list. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Reason why I came tonight is my concern is the groundwater. I live 3 houses down from, and you know, this house and all that. And it disturbs me that there's 2 feet there that it's going to be, you know, the neighbors, which side would get east of me? They're, I know that they've struggled with water in their basement and they've had other issues, water issues. And that's not my issue, but I mean, it is, because I hate to see that happen to the neighborhood where it's 2 feet can absorb a lot of water. I'm not an engineer, but there's reasons why you have the zoning board, and there's reasons why there are these rules, and there's the groundwater. DuPage County has all this groundwater rules, yeah, and with engineering and maps and all that. My concern is that I'm going to be hit by that and other people up from me. If it's only 2 feet, then why is it such a big deal to cover it with cement or asphalt or anything else? All of that, y'all are living in a really nice town, and it's important that we keep it that way. But you know, land that will first affect. And that's what I would want a variance for. I don't do it because I'm not going to put my neighbor. And it's just not right. Just dump water on below. And that's what I feel is going to happen here. It may be in a small way, and it may not be an inconvenience for people, but I know that I had the village, what was it like, the public works, they were on the western or eastern, that side of on the east side, they were over there trying to help them do that, and water came down the street onto the other homes. Now, we did what, you know, we did things like lay cement but we weren't gonna get it as badly as other people because it just didn't, it wasn't gonna go directly to us. It's just gonna be hitting a bunch of, two or three other properties before it hits me. But I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see other people hurt, and I really think we have to be careful and put cement down. Yeah, that is there to absorb the harm. It jeopardizes property values as far as I'm concerned. Everybody has water in their basement, or they can't park their car because there's a pool. Then you start diminishing the value of the home. And then we just be really careful when you hear I'm opposed to this. And I don't know if my neighbor I just met him. This is personal. And being on board, you know that this is a big thing with people. That we have all these clusters of homes.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I hope that you take it seriously, even though it's 2 feet.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other participants in the audience?
The owners of 620 are not here, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, but they do have this document they
Yep.
provided, yeah. Okay, if not, any discussions, any questions that we have?
So I just wanted to know, is there a way of determining that 2 feet would have a impact on the surrounding areas? I'm not sure.
Without an engineering report, that's gonna be tough. It definitely will affect, saturation with it, right? Yeah, but, depends if you go 2 feet to the south, it's a lot different than going 2 feet to the north. So, based on where they're putting it right now, I don't wanna make assumptions. I just know there's gonna be more hard surface. is gonna
right.
run.
So, a property owner is allowed to cover 40% of their lot, per the zoning ordinance with hard surfaces, so the house, driveways, things like that. And then because he's enlarging the driveway, the village engineer would need to review and approve, the building permit, if this goes forward. And so part of that is he has to submit documentation to the village engineer, showing that what he's doing would not negatively impact the neighbors as part of the DuPage County Stormwater Ordinance.
Okay.
So whether that's by curbing and grading and things like that. So that can be a condition of approval as the grading plan is approved by the village engineer or something like that, if that's a concern that the board members have.
He's good on green space and coverage. With the portion of the driveway that's going to be from the garage to the house, how much of that is pitched towards the street and how much of that is pitched towards the back of the property?
Is that the front corner or the back corner of the house?
So in all reality, the portion that's pitched towards your garage, by the time it comes off the curb you're going to build is going to be 15, 20 feet away from your neighbor's garage. The portion that's pitched to the street, by the time your curb ends and you're going to funnel that water, is going to be probably another 15 feet away from the garage. So as far as I'm worried about seepage, it's gonna have to seep in 15 feet.
Well, I'd like to clarify, is that curb gonna be along the whole side of the driveway or just along the side where you're at the 0 lot line?
Just this piece right here. From here to here. So he's actually improving the water that's gonna flow into his neighbor's garage, because it's gonna flow 15 feet away from the garage in the back and 15 feet away from the garage in the front.
Well, I can't accept that because it's, when it flows to his property, it's gotta go somewhere. And that's what I can't determine without a contour here. So is the neighbor's yard at that point lower, so when it flows
think
off
his neighbor's-
it didn't swirl back to the neighbor? I don't know.
But I don't think it changes the fact that all that runoff is going into his neighbor's garage now. It's just pushing it to the back of the property. It's gonna be the same amount of runoff.
Yeah, but it's gonna be the volume that could still come to the front. It's the volume of the water and the quantity that you know what I mean? So I don't know that without a contour. Because if there's more green space, it sucks up more. And I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
And
I think it's actually an improvement.
well, if it sloped from the curb towards the center of his property, that was High Point maintained, I would accept that. I just don't know what's happening back here. So in the essence of no water from that driveway flows onto the neighbor, I would accept it. It's just, I don't see that. And if we make that a condition for engineering, that.
If you look at the aerial, it's gonna flow into the green space on his property. And it's gonna touch 3 corners of different properties that are all trees. And that's where the water's flowing now,
I understand, but the first flow off the concrete, the hard pavement should be his backyard.
and it will be.
Okay, so long as that's a condition, I'm okay. You know, I can't guarantee that without an actual contour map, you know? And I know, we have images and stuff and I
Right.
couldn't see with the snow, so. I was gonna say it'd be a great day to look at it because there's plenty of water around, but I couldn't.
So he's got a 12 by 12, probably 12 by 20 space of area that he's gonna dump. Maybe 300 square feet of concrete, that water running off into there. The largest portion of the driveway is gonna dump to the street. Are you pitching? I'm trying to get my bearings. So the close that's to your rear covered patio, that portion of the driveway, is that pitching towards your neighbor or is that gonna run off into the grass towards your covered patio? It's gonna what? Yeah, so I'm thinking majority of this, and we can dictate it, has to run this way.
That's what I'm saying.
So then you're talking about that much of a driveway running into the green space here, which is probably an improvement. From here, this high point, all the way to the street is gonna hit this curb. It's gonna run off into his grass as it does now, and it's gonna flow to the street. We can also have
See,
that
I'm
curb
not gonna
extended.
accept anything except all his hard surface runs on his lot first. And that back.
And it will.
It's just gonna create on a heavy rain, there'll be a river just circling right back into, I don't know this bottom part of the neighbors, if that's lower or higher there. You know what I mean?
I would assume it's lower based on
Yeah.
the pictures.
So then it becomes, a neighbor becomes a pond, the holding pond for that area. You understand?
I totally understand. I think we can make conditions and that's engineering's issue to deal with.
Because I don't know the elevation of the garage in the back, because if he's dropping his driveway 4 or 5 inches, he might be able to slope that all the way to the front. Maintain that curb and go all the way to the front, and there is nothing dumped to the neighbor. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can, I mean, you're gonna undercut that driveway to start with.
Yeah, so that's enough to get a flow to the front. It could be, not knowing the height of the garage in the back. Are you guys understanding what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the big thing is the neighbor has property, a lot of water goes to it, but then it's gonna go to the neighbor's property and it's not gonna have time to saturate, so. We want to make sure that doesn't happen. So we're only looking at this area right here for the curb.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, if that's a concern, if you look at his drawing of where his truck traffic is, that piece is to store another car. That's not needed.
Yeah.
You take off that corner right there, there's more green space to dump
I'm
water,
with you. Yeah, it's just a garbage can storage right there.
Right.
Yeah.
which put it in gravel, put it in pavers, put it in permeable.
Well, they don't accept that. I wish they did.
Well,
We don't. Everything counts.
we won't know. But the whole point is to get around the corner of the house so he doesn't hit the house and he gets a better swing into here, that is not needed. So if you eliminate that, there's more runoff, which will alleviate the neighbor's issues, alleviate the other neighbor's issues to absorb water. The rest will be flowing towards the street and it's going in the village system. A lot of this is give and take. Would you be willing to give up the portion of you got a 12-foot section on the side of the driveway? Where the So there's two different things is we vote on what's going to be amended to what the rules are. You're still going to have to go through engineering for them to determine water and other things like that. So even if we allowed it and engineering said timeout, that doesn't work. I don't want to get into engineering. That's their job.
Yeah, we just want to tell engineering, we want the water to flow to your backyard and not to your neighbors. And, you know, you have to produce, or somebody has to do contours and slopes to make sure that takes place. And what's being proposed, I wish we had a piece of paper or something we can show, because I do like the idea of just taking it from the garage going down. And if you curb that, that's even better. So that way it all flows, sheet flows to the backyard. So then nothing goes to the neighbor's garage and it'll solve a lot of problems, a lot of issues. No, I understand. But when it rains, the ground becomes saturated and hard surface has to roll somewhere. It doesn't suck up into the earth or soak into the earth, I should say. So that's going to roll around and then pond, and your neighbor is at the low spot. Your neighbor is going to take the burden of the water, and we want to prevent that. You know, it's not fair for him or her. So we want to prevent that. And you're asking for more hard surface. So we're asking if you're willing to work with us with the idea that we want to sheet flow it all from your hard surface to your backyard, curb the side of the neighbor that you're showing with this change. And we work with engineering for the slope away from the neighbor. So that way they won't have that issue and that you don't blow your snow against this garage. So, how do we proceed?
Is the fence is your neighbor's, correct? Okay.
I never print this out, but usually if there's a sketch, we can show you what we're looking for.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Hypothetically, engineering says this plan works, the amount of runoff onto his property will absorb.
I've had real reservations with our engineering in the past.
They're the paid ones, not us.
Yeah, and some of their solutions I haven't found acceptable in certain situations. So
But if they're within the guidelines of the village,
that's what I'm hearing. I'm glad to hear that because Rob was kind of a different person.
Yes, you retired many, many years ago.
Yeah. But I do want to make sure there's real specific instructions to him that the surface runoff from the hard surface goes to his property and not to the neighbors before. So it has a chance to saturate in. What you're talking makes sense. The trouble is, I don't know the volume of that driveway and the amount that's going to go in that area to saturate. But usually a rule of thumb is you need 2 open areas to 1 hard, correct? And right now it's reversed. He's got like 4 hard to 1 open area. So yeah, it's going to flow there and absorb, but the hard, it can't take all that hard water. So I would propose that it's curved from the front of the garage to the proposed line that they have coming down.
Yeah, I
From
mean,
here
he has
coming
curb
down.
going back even
Okay.
farther than the front.
Yeah,
of the
because
garage.
that's not needed for parking, like you said. And that's curved and it's designed to flow to the center of his property away from the neighbor. And then engineering has to validate that.
So you want to curb there is what you're saying?
No, right here. That's what we're talking. We're gonna put a curb right there and take away that chunk. We want to eliminate
Okay.
some of the hard space so that there's some saturation time.
Is that what everyone's in agreement with?
I don't know if everybody can see it. That's it.
So you're saying turn take this and turn it this way and have curb
Yeah, right
parallel
here,
to the
come
garage.
down right
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
So. Before I draw, we're talking about right here, putting a curb right here, and then it slopes that way, correct?
Yeah, you'd have to pull the water towards the house and then dump it past the garage into the grass.
Yeah, then he's got all this space over here, and then from here, it's all gonna slope this way. Slope.
So here, let me show you. So some options.
Mhm.
Last thing we want to do is, because we can't see slopes and everything else, is dump water on your neighbor and then there's issues. So options one, you extend that curb to the garage,
Okay.
which forces your contractor to slope, push water.
So you see right here.
It forces them to push water towards here and then force push water down here. Or you eliminate this completely
Mhm.
and then there's more green space to absorb that amount of water. So basically, if you want this piece, we'd probably approve if you put a curb here, because then it contains the water and then your contractor has to figure out how to push.
Slope in there. Yeah.
Or if you want to
Right
keep
curb,
this,
right
Back
curb.
there.
curb this whole thing, water has to come this way.
Yeah.
This way.
But we want to curb all this for the neighbor and
Yep,
flow it away.
He's got a curb to here already.
Yeah.
So if you want to keep this piece, curb it, push water that way, or curb this, you lose that, which you probably don't want to. But regardless, you're pushing water down.
How do you write this up in a minute?
Yeah, discussion occurred.
We can mark up the drawing and say per approved.
Yeah. Is that?
Which would you prefer?
I would prefer to keep that
The way it is?
curb it and then back pitch it so nothing goes to me.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's exactly the right thing. We want nothing going to the neighbor.
Would you guys like to see what we're talking about so that you can, please come up?
Center of the yard, yeah. You didn't swear in. No,
So
swear at you.
he's got a curb.
I got it right, yeah, I got it right here, guys.
I'm sorry?
So he's got a curve from here to here.
Oh.
He's got a curve from here and then flow all the water here.
Very
to his
interesting
yard.
stuff. I'm learning something new.
'Cause we-
Yeah, Paul's.
This
This is the neighbor, 620.
Yeah. So then
And
it
then-
goes through his property, saturates, then comes around, as opposed
Oh,
from
okay,
here,
so
it
they
would come
know.
down and be a very fast stream.
Yeah, he's having the curb end here and it could kind of go this way, but we're telling him curb it here and push it this way.
Illegal. Yeah.
Yes.
Or just, that of a home, like a resident or,
I grew up here.
Mhm.
So it is, I mean, it would affect them in a lot of ways. And it could actually affect people's backyards, however, which way, how much flow
Well, that's why we're running through his
is.
here, so it saturates here before it starts going out.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So it'll be away from their house.
It's gonna go onto this property. So you understand why, before it would have shotgun over here real fast, but we're taking all this and it's gotta flow through his property and come around.
Whatever the extra
It is
2 feet is
just-
This is gonna be pitched toward the street.
Mhm.
The majority of it's gonna go out.
Okay. So we get paid the big money.
You know, I'm and I'm telling you, everything is such a charming community.
I know
always
that
nice to
area.
hear
You got some water issues in that area, your sidewalks and you got that storm. So that's a tough street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather
That's
built
rough.
that house.
That's rotten.
My grandfather built that house. Yeah. Yeah.
This house. Oh, good for you. History.
what a small world.
Yeah, we stay.
You're gonna buy me lunch? With all my property being eroded from this?
The driveway.
No, it already is.
But that's the natural flow of drainage, and we're not allowed to alter that either.
Can I show you what's going on right here? Here's his garage. Here's the house. So he's gonna flow this way to his backyard. This is gonna be a curb here. It's a curb. His house coming this way.
I mean, it's
Is
currently
where the.
already,
what it's doing right
it's
now.
already doing that. Yeah, it
It's
just,
doing right now.
yeah. This curb, I think, will benefit this neighbor.
It's taking a longer
Immediately
run.
Benefit the neighbor.
Yeah, so what's happening is this driveway is currently flowing into the neighbor. This way you pitch it this way, he picks it up and this becomes a saturation area to pick up the water as it moves around. No, the curb is all coming to his backyard. The curb stops, yeah, the curb stops here. Now, this is his driveway, that doesn't change. That's their.
Yeah, this is already currently sloped this way, so this isn't gonna change. It's just this piece here that's changing.
He's dropping this here, because if you look at it, it's high, he's dropping this 4 inches, so it flows better. And not to the neighbor.
I'm not sure if I understood, because this should be curved. Okay, so it does. All the way down. Their garage is
Evidence.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A. So make a motion in accordance with Exhibit A. Can I do that?
This is what I've written.
That's sufficient. The pitching towards the street and backyard. Going south to property line.
Yeah, this.
Curb going south?
Yeah, it's in the south.
No, the curb on the south is gonna, the driveway's gonna slope to the north.
Right, but you're gonna add curb going south from the garage. Curb going south from garage to property line.
To garage. To hit from a line. It's a neighbor.
From his garage going to the
Yeah.
property line.
Yeah.
Because the garage is over here.
Right. He stopped here with this curb. We have curb all the way.
Oh, yeah, no, he was proposing curb all this way.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just adding this curb.
A continuous curb.
Yes.
Oh, he's dropping it? Well, he's talking about dropping the driveway, but he's gonna have to raise this up here to push it. This portion will be higher. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
His driveway's gonna come up towards that corner
As long as
and
the
push him
driveway
to.
comes up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so this will be higher. than here. Or he can take a- But at the end of the day, engineering can override us and say this doesn't work, or they might have suggestions how to tweak that. Fair enough?
Based on engineering approval.
Thanks.
Okay.
You too.
Any other questions from petitioner or commissioners or audience? Okay,
How are we gonna make a motion?
we'll get there, I know. Okay, so I'm going to close discussion and I'd like to close the public hearing. Can I ask for a motion?
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second,
Second.
thank you.
Sorry.
Voice vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion for findings of fact with the understanding that the curb is going to go all along the south to the garage
To the garage.
and the pavement will slope towards the neighbor's backyard? No,
No.
towards the petitioner's backyard, away from the neighbor.
It's gonna slope towards his covered patio.
Right. So the curb is going to be south to the property line and pitched towards your yard along from away from the neighbor. That's what finding of facts. With condition of engineering that it works.
Yep.
Slopes.
It all falls on engineering.
I'm gonna see how good this engineering is. Yeah, I got a sewer pipe that doesn't work in front of my yard. So.
Who's gonna make that motion?
I'll make that motion if you can write it in properly.
Second,
I'll second that motion.
thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Todd Eichholz,
Aye.
Monica Nishatka,
Aye.
Lydia Galante,
Aye.
Chairman Zinni.
Yes. Can I have a motion for the variance? With the, in accordance with the findings of fact.
Okay, I'll move to approve the variance for ZBA 22-470 in accordance with the findings of fact.
Thank you. Second,
And I'll second that.
okay.
Like a pro. Got
Roll
it
call.
down.
I don't know
Lydia
why we're here.
Galante,
Aye.
Monica Nishatka,
Aye.
Todd Eichholz.
Aye.
Chairman Zinni.
Yes. Okay. All right, you've been approved with all these conditions. So the big thing is keep the water away from the neighbor, and engineering will work with you to slope that. And I think you're gonna have happy neighbors and everything will be a lot nicer. Trust me, it's worth the effort. Yeah, and it'll help the value of your property too.
I'll send you
Thank you,
a
guys.
copy of what they drew up, so you have it.
It was basically what you had, just extending that curb to the garage.
And then sloping everything, but you can still slope some to the front too, away from the house. Engineering to work it out. The whole
We
idea
spill
is
off.
just- Yeah, stay it away, keep it away from the neighbors. Yep. What neighbors are not happy neighbors? Okay, ask if there's any old business? No, nobody coming back? Great. Is there any new business? Nothing next month, you're saying?
I haven't received anything.
Okay. You didn't receive anything about a garage door at all?
The zoning approved the garage at 275 Park Lane. I do not know if the permit has been issued or picked up or paid for, but zoning approved it
I did
based
check
on
it.
resubmitted plans.
Did it connect to the?
Yes, it is considered an attached garage.
I ran into the neighbor 2 weeks later.
Which one? The
The one who had the issue with the larger garage. He was not happy. It was not good.
Yeah, I talked to him about 2 days ago, just, he's got a 3-car garage, it's, it's just gonna be.
He has 2 garages.
Yeah, yeah. I hear rain.
It stayed within the letter of the law for the village. It's
Oh.
what it is.
What it is what it is. That's, it's when you jump outside. Okay. Well, that's good to know that that's been solved and we don't have to worry.
Yes.
If they come with a fence, I think we should approve it. A tall one. I don't have anything else. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay,
All
thank
in
you.
favor?
Say aye.
Aye.
All right, well, welcome to the board.